Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode, sort of a surprise episode. Didn't know I'd be filming this one today. Well, as you can see, I'm leaving the co-op, and it's still first day back at work. But what I didn't think would happen is I got a call from Kurt after lunch, and I guess on his way back from his doctor's appointment, he picked up the sweeps that he was waiting for his cultivator, and he was going to put those on this afternoon and be ready to do some cultivating and some planting this evening. So I think he's back at home, and I think he said he was going to fill up the planter with the last of the soybeans, and I'm going to go run the 8960 with the cultivator in front of him. So that should be good. And we will see you when we get there. Alright, here we are. Getting ready to turn the Kurt's place. Looks like he's got his planter tractor over there where we put the seed this morning. And I didn't tell you guys, but I got a surprise for you. I'll tell you about it a little later on once we get going here. One nice thing about working for Kurt before is that I'm pretty familiar with all of his equipment, so it's not too hard for me to just jump on and go to work for him this quickly. All right, well, let's go see what we can do over here. I think he told me that it was fueled up, all ready to go. So we're gonna hop on here just in a minute. Yep, the new sweeps look pretty good. Let's hop in. All right, so what we're gonna be doing this afternoon, as I said, we're gonna be pulling the cultivator right in front of him, or not far in front of him as he's planting. Biggest reason is just to kind of loosen up the soil just a little bit right on top and to get rid of some weeds. I guess he had one of the other co-ops spray for weeds a while back for the burn down, and since it's been so long since they sprayed and it's kind of dry and he's had some weeds pop up, so he didn't really want to spend the money to spray again since there's only a few and they're pretty far between. But obviously, you don't want weeds when you're getting ready to plant, so we're just going to go drag this cultivator in front of him and try to knock down some of those weeds. Alright, here we go. It's kind of like riding a bike. So we're gonna roll right across the road here. He's got, I think there's four little plots here that we're gonna work up for him. We've got the one we're sitting on here, and then we've got the one out there far in front of us that's kind of a squirrely, funny shaped field, and then we've got the one here just to our left, and then the one over the waterway, the little short one over the waterway. We're going to work that one up too. What we're going to do is we're going to go all the way to the back of this far field here in front of us, and we're going to kind of start there. It gets pretty squirrely in the back, and there's some waterways that you can't drive through. I'll have to go around them, so once we get in some of these bigger fields, we might use the auto steer a little bit, but for these small fields and then this field here that's funny shaped, we may not be able to use it very much, which I don't really mind. Alright, we're going to start right here and work our way back to the back. And just do some farming. For once, I may not do much talking in this video, but I'll break in now and then and do some talking. Alright. Let's give it a go. So this is what I was talking about a minute ago when I said it was kind of squirrely back here. It's just kind of twisty and turning all over the place. We've got these waterways. I think I don't remember if there's 3 or 4 back here. I think there's one of them you can drive all the way through the whole way. And I think there's a couple of them that you can't drive through at all. And then there's maybe one that you can drive through part of the time. And by drive through, what I'm talking about is once you get to it, you can just lift the cultivator up and drive through it versus having to go all the way around it. You'll kind of see what I mean when we get there. Feels good to be back in a tractor again. I could do this all day long. Here's one of the ones right here that you can't drive through at all. It's just too steep. I think what we'll do is we're gonna go ahead and just work around it now. The ends here, they're too square to be able to just turn right around on them with the cultivator too, so you kind of have to do some funny loops. We'll get the other side of that when we come back around. See, this one here, at the very edge of it here, we'll be able to just lift up and go through it and set back down. And try not to miss too many weeds. I will have to say, it has been a little while since I've driven an articulated tractor. I'll say that. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Your tail, so to speak, wags around a lot more in an articulated tractor than in a conventional tractor. I think that one there, just there to our left, I think that's one that we can drive all the way through the whole time. That one there, not so much. That's probably the worst one, actually. I talked to Kurt about today on the phone about doing the video recording and all that kind of thing, and just to sort of see what he thought about it. And he thought it was a great idea. He's cool with it. You know, as long as I stay safe with it and use some common sense about it, he said that go for it, record all I want. So I expect to get a lot of good recording out of the stuff that I do with and for Kurt. Oh, which reminds me about the surprise. So I was expecting this. I didn't tell you guys anything about it, but I've been expecting this to show up. And today, the delivery service, they dropped off my new drone. They dropped it up this morning, so I was able to run home at noon and plug it in and get it charging. So I've got a new drone here in the field with me today, and once I kind of get going here, probably get this field finished up so Kurt can get to planting, we are going to get the drone out and do some drone footage. So that will be pretty cool. All right, we got this little nook back here, kind of finished up. I think this is about the squirreliest part of any of these fields. This is the kind of place right back in here where, if you have the luxury to do so, you really want to get this done before it gets dark. Because, like in this tractor, where you don't have any GPS mapping software, you can end up sort of getting lost and miss a spot, and you don't know it until you go back the next day, and chances are pretty good the tractor's already folded up, or it's already gone, or whatever. So it's nice to get those knocked out and out of the way before it gets dark. If you'll notice, I'm not picking my cultivator up out of the ground whenever I'm turning. And that's okay as long as I don't turn too sharply. And with this cultivator, it's really not that big of a deal because, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's wide. I'm getting a lot of work done, but it's not super wide. And so the reason why you can't turn too sharply with a wide implement is that You can almost get it if I turn really sharp. You might be able to see it with this cultivator, but if you turn too sharply with a wide implement, the side of the implement that is inside the turn will actually start backing up. And with a cultivator, actually I think we're just going to drive right through this one. We're not even going to pick up. We're just going to go right through it. But as I was saying, if you turn too sharply with a wide implement, the end of the implement that's inside the turn can actually back up. And with a cultivator, you'll drag the sweeps backwards. If you got a spring tooth harrow on the back, like this cultivator does, the harrow back there in the back that smooths it out, you can bend that stuff up. You can tear it off. If you've got a wide planter or a wide air seeder, you can actually plug up the seed boots, and most stuff nowadays have got seed sensors, so if you have something plugged up, or if you have seeds that aren't coming out of a particular boot on a row unit. But if you don't have that, you can plug up that seed boot, and you may not know that you're not putting seed out until you go to fill up the seed and you're checking things out, and then you realize, well, I haven't been planting with this row unit for the last however many acres it's been. So it's pretty important to be aware of how sharp you're turning when you're pulling with a wide implement. Alright, it's just trying to get my auto steer kind of set up and kind of going here. If you can use auto steer, depending on who you work for and what exactly you're doing, if you can use auto steer, a lot of times that's preferred, because he's definitely going to use his auto steer when he goes to plant. So that will that'll just sort of help as he's planting, because we will have cultivated in the same direction that he's planting. It's hard to use auto steer over in that area. We're just constantly turning around and working up waterways and all that. But here, now that we've got a little bit of straight running, we'll go ahead and use the auto steer. But yeah, so the reason why I wasn't picking up going through that waterway is because, for one, it is mostly pretty pretty smooth to drive through, and then two, I'm not pulling this cultivator very deep. It's basically just deep enough to cut the weeds off, and that's it. So I'm not really doing a lot of, real digging to this grass that's in this waterway. I'm just kind of skimming the top of it. All right. And with that, we just finished up the first field. And I got a call from Kurt a few minutes ago, and I guess he's having some trouble getting his planner monitor to work. And I'm going to go over and give him a hand with that, and so he can get started planting. And I might take a second and see if I can get this drone to work while I'm down. So stay tuned. Alright guys, well, as promised, I'm going to end the video here with some drone footage. I skipped the second field, showing you footage of the second field. It's the one you can't see Kurt over there, but he's planting now. He finished the field that we started with, and he's on his second field now. I'm on my third, and I'm going to get some drone footage of both tractors. So I'd like to thank you guys again for watching, and please tune in for the next video. If you do the like and subscribe thing, please do so. If you don't, that's cool too. Just come back and watch me farm. So thanks guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.